Canine Academy, and I'm here with Ruby. She's a 6-month-old golden doodle. She's especially special to me. She's a Milligan Valley puppy here. She's out of Onyx, my dog Onyx, and she's also owned by a friend of mine, and so Ruby's a little extra special for me. But she's 6 months old. She's been here on her board and train now for 8 days, and we've started the remote collar layering process over the heel command. And I'd love to show you guys that. I'd love to show you step by step how we produce a remote collar heel from the ground up. So I just have Ruby on a slip lead, but you can use a prong collar for sure. If a dog does better on that, you can absolutely do that. Sit. That's a good girl. Let's bring you down here a little bit on your numbers. Come here, sweetheart. Yeah, good girl. Good job. Yeah, very good. So anyway, I am working her at low levels using a slip lead, and I'm going to show you how we layer the remote collar over heel. So every time the dog comes out of this box, you're going to hear me press the button, and I'll even raise my hand just to show you when I'm pressing the button, and when I'm not, I'll put my hand at my side. But I want Ruby on the left-hand side, ultimately with her feet slightly behind mine in follow mode. Okay, every time she leaves this little box here, I'm going to engage my low level remote collar pressure, not a correction. We're not talking corrections in this video. Remote collar pressure at low levels, at the dog's working level, and then I'm going to guide her back to my heel. When she comes back to my heel, all pressure goes off of her neck. Remote collar pressure and leash pressure. And so basically what we're doing is we're teaching the dog how to keep herself in position. So I'm going to show you that. It's going to look a little bit messy, as it should. That's how I like to do my tutorial videos, because I feel that the messier stuff helps folks a lot more than just showing you a finished dog. So it's going to look a little messy, and I hope this helps. So take a look. Get my levels right. There we go. Heel. Heel. Good. So when the dog is in the appropriate positioning, all pressure stays off of her neck. When she gets out of positioning, I put remote collar pressure and leash pressure back on her neck. There we go. That's perfect textbook positioning for a heel. She's out of the box. Pull her back. So you see how many times I've been hitting the button? A lot. A lot. So when you're teaching a remote collar heel, you should be hitting that button every time the dog comes out of this little box. That's what's teaching her. It's teaching her that if she wants the tickle to stay off her neck, if she wants the leash pressure to stay off her neck, she has to stay in this little box. And so we would not get corrective with a dog on this until the dog truly understood that it needs to stay in this particular box. So I kind of tell my clients, take your hand at your left-hand side and kind of go like this. Do like this little half moon at your heel. And if the dog's not in that little half moon, press your button, give guidance back. Remote collars are not magic, meaning that I don't just hit this button at Ruby's working level and she instantly goes, I know what I need to do. Absolutely not. There's a lot of teaching and a lot of repetitions that take place to teach a dog remote collar pressure and what to do with it in various circumstances. So in this particular circumstance, I would recommend that someone do what we call driveway drills. What we do with Ruby and all of our board and trains is walk up and down this driveway over and over and over, miles, literally back and forth on the driveway, teaching the dog how to stay in a proper heel long before we ever give them a proper correction for leaving the heel position. So I want to show you that just a little bit more. Heel. During this process, we do a lot of turning because I want the dog to learn. You get too far ahead. Whoops, I might switch directions on you. There we go. And then the dog, after doing this long enough, goes, hey, I ought to stay behind your leg so I can see when you're going to switch positions. I'm like, I know. Why don't you stay behind my leg? And the dog goes, I think I might. And then that's where you know you're really getting on to something. I find that with my private training clients, that folks oftentimes are not pressing the button as often as they should be. And so, you know, one of my pro tips is you need to press that button at the dog's working level a lot more than you might think. So you're looking at Ruby and you see she's not bothered or upset by the sensation on her neck, okay? She has an itch, but she's not bothered or upset when I'm pressing the button. So your working level needs to be low enough that the dog's not bothered by it, but high enough that they actually feel it. So she's feeling that. Good. Switch directions. There we go. Look at that. That's it. That's perfect positioning. Nice loose leash, because we know if the leash is tight, the dog will pull on a tight leash. All right, guys. I hope this helps.